Some of the loudest voices condemning the killing of George Floyd and racial injustices are in the NBA, a league with a strong history of not shying away from race issues. Now, despite being sidelined from COVID-19, teams are being more vocal than ever.
The same way they influence people in athletics, now they have a chance to influence people in the world and politicians and government leaders. Then do that. If that's what it takes to get the change done, then do it.
From Minnesota to New York to Washington, NBA cities have witnessed massive protests in the streets over the last week. Teams and players, past and present, are speaking out. The Washington Wizards released a united statement in response to the death of George Floyd, saying in part that they will no longer tolerate the assassination of people of color in this country. They will no longer accept the abuse of power from law enforcement, and they will no longer shut up and dribble.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
Boston Celtics guard Jaylen Brown drove 15 hours to march along protesters in his hometown of Atlanta.
And I think now the impetus from people like Masai putting it out there and sharing his thoughts, now people want to hear. There are other times when I'm sure people felt, well, that's your world. It's not mine. Sorry, I feel badly for you, but there's nothing I can do. And now we're starting to get the sense of other people becoming as concerned and outraged and frustrated as the people that are experiencing it.
Here in Canada, Raptors president Masai Ujiri wrote an op-ed for the Globe and Mail this weekend, calling for justice. And in part, he wrote, "So many of you are asking, what can I do? There's a sense of helplessness, but that must not paralyze us. Your voice matters, especially when you are a leader or influential figure, and especially if you are white. Leaders have to be bold enough to state the obvious and call out racism. The conversation can no longer be avoided because it's hard. We have to have it now." Beyond the NBA, Winnipeg Jets player and Minnesota native Blake Wheeler issued a statement in part saying, "We need to stand with the Black community and fundamentally change how the leadership in this country has dealt with racism. I'm sorry it has taken this long, but I'm hopeful that we can change this now."
Minorities have been pushing for a change forever. It just doesn't happen. But when the people in the majority start pushing for a change, now we're going to get some action.
And from the world of soccer, players from Germany's Bundesliga also addressing Floyd's killing over the weekend, including Marcus Thurman taking a knee after scoring a goal, invoking 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who protested during the national anthem, putting racial inequality in the spotlight 4 years ago. For City News in Toronto, I'm Lindsay Dunn.